Alright, NDC member just say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Eman appointment Abamonte so Abebobo sem any akasa just say wenu pa why big mistake say oko joining NDC amayuko na eno ena just say miracle aboaje just simpie so e de nsem ni mu chire mu ina Abamonte so just say NDC ni na o say wa regret wenu say o joining NDC amayuko say wa register joining NPP amayuko e bi say wa kan sem bebre e de afasa nsem we wa uko PM ewo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama office there na say arewo sem na say atoli because say appointment or dey a man no na ye kan say o say wa regret wa regret nti wa kwete NDC nti appointment no eda ho ebusi ansem na ye bebre e wo media na so nti ye be call na ya kotie enkomo twetwe e call so emra miracle aboaje e de sansem no enchemu ina ebetu dwam ni bi aba
of the country, the industries, services. Those are the critical things that the Ghanaian voter will look out for. We seem to always underrate the ability of the Ghanaian voter to appreciate and approve Youth Association, the New Patriotic Party, the National Democratic Congress is an organization of membership. I have a Facebook post here where, in fact, there was a post that the National Youth Authority CEO, Usman Ayariga, made on his Twitters, I think last week. And you could see the NDC people. They say, you've used us and dumped us, and you're coming to call us again. We are not coming. Find us jobs. That is what is important. I regret being part of the NDC. This is not what I voted for. You understand? At every point in time, you would have members joining and members leaving. What democracy is all about. Because human beings as we are, our needs are insatiable and they are not static. Somebody voted for free ASHAs in 2016, but by 2024, his child that he voted for is already done with free SHS. He wanted something else, so he gave him free SHS. He's very grateful, but as of 2024, Mahama was promising him stress-free level 100 fees. What do you expect from him? He would vote for Mahama so he can get stress-free level 100 fees. In the next elections, maybe he's done with the university. He wants job. Mahama couldn't give him 25 economy. What would he do? He will switch to the next candidate that is promising him jobs. And so those are not determining factors of the state of a political party. The most important thing is, as we speak, as at close of day yesterday, as we checked, over 450,000 people have already gone to the polling stations to register. And that is what is crucial. Remember, the New Patriotic Party in the 2024 elections garnered close to about 42% of the votes. It tells you that 42% of the Ghanaian voting population, 42% of the Ghanaian voting population supports the New Patriotic Party. You get what I'm saying? Right. And so at any point in time, it's important that you pay attention to the details of the numbers and not just somebody saying that, oh, I will leave NPP. People are leaving NDC. People are leaving NPP. People are moving from NDC to NPP. People are moving from NPP to NDC. That is human. Our job is to put in place systems and structures that will give all these people very good reasons to stay with us and not to move to the other side.
And one of the reasons why I'm asking also is because I've seen some of your party people say that this is real danger for the NPP. And these are NPP people making those assertions on social media.
The NDC guys who spoke at that, Usman Ayariga, is there danger to the NPP?
No, I'm talking about real figures within
so
the
that
NPP
is the point.
themselves.
Yeah, so that's the point I'm making, that others will move. So it moves across the divide. Remember, you see, there's something that we keep missing. We've had 9 elections in this country. 9. And let me draw your attention. 1992 to 2024. 9. Out of the 9 elections, the first election was won by the NDC. And then, in fact, the first 2 elections, before the NPP followed. Out of the 9 elections, NPP has won 4. NDC has won 5. The 5th one was a very recent one. Easy to say that, after all, they won the first one. So, it is not as if the NDC has done something extraordinary beyond the NPP. No. They don't know how to win elections more than the NPP do.
They don't?
We've won 4, they've won 5. The last one is when they won, and they won the first one. Is there a difference? There isn't. Listen, before the 1.7 million voting gap between the NDC and the NPP, there was a 1 million unprecedented votes.
In 2016.
The time the 1 million unprecedented votes came, do you know what people said? They said NDC is collapsed. NDC egu. By June, the NDC egu. In fact, all the way into 2021, people said NDC was gone. But they came back. They won by 1.7 million. It tells you that the Ghanaian voter is not a robot standing in one place to be remote controlled. The Ghanaian voter is discerning. If you like today, go and put a ballot box at the University of Ghana campus and tell the student to come and vote and see if NDC will win there. Because the students you promised stress-free loan, you didn't give them. You're giving them post-stress support. The nurses, take a ballot box today and take it to a nursing college and tell them to vote and see whether NDC will win. They won't, because you promised them automatic posting, you didn't deliver. The teacher trainees that you promised to cancel their licensure exams, you didn't deliver. You think they are robots? That you go and put your ballot box there and they will vote for you?
Some say it's early days yet. John Mahama has a 4-year mandate.
There's a difference between we'll do it in 4 years and the difference between I didn't do it. The stress-free loan is under implementation. He didn't do it. Did he? Automatic posting. He didn't do it. These are not classroom blocks and rules that you see have started constructing. So you haven't done it. Them stress-free. Do you know why you called it stress-free as a party? Because you knew that even though people could access funds to go to school, they go through a lot of stress to do that. That's why you give them. So the policy is not just disbursement of money. The policy is underlined by removing stress. So if I still have to...
They failed with that?
But if I still have to go and struggle to look for a loan and hope that I get it, and then when I enroll, then I apply for you to give me the money, then that's not a policy. Student loans have always been there. I went to University of Ghana with a student loan. I went to University of Ghana with a student loan. I was taken care of. I always have to go and register. Then once I'm on campus, in the course of a semester, Smith will pay me my student loan. That is how we all went to school. So if that is what you were promising the people, then there was no policy. But what you are doing now is already in existence. It's been in existence since the 80s. So clearly the government did not fulfill the level 100 stress-free loan. You think that they are robots and they will vote for you? These are students who took decisions to vote for you and vote against the government. They gave them free SHS. So play with them. The cocoa farmers, 1 million cocoa farmers, you're giving them haircuts. I'm sure we'll get into that later.
We'll get into
you're giving them haircuts. You've taken 1,000 cedis off a bag of cocoa for them. You think they are robots? You are going to explain to them why they should accept for you to take them their 1,000 cedis. Go and put a ballot box in a cocoa farm and see what the NDC.
So when you hear NDC communicators say that, well, with what happened in 2024 and what John Mahama has done since then, the NPP, like you also said in 2016, NPP.
Yeah, so I don't need to say anything to it. The results is that we all know how these things end, don't we? We all know how it ends. They will lose the next elections. There's no doubt.
In 2020,
they will lose.
But that will be unprecedented because we've not had a party lose elections.
It tells you about the evolving nature of the Ghanaian voter.
Okay.
And all of us politicians must begin to take the Ghanaian voters seriously and not play with them. You don't promise me something and come and do something else and think that I'm a robot. I'll back you and vote for you. It happened to us. It happened to them in 2016. So it will happen to them again in 2020. Clearly this government is failed from the get-go. Can you tell me, in the past 1 year, 3 months, what this government has done, monumental? In fact, since 1996, let me put it that way, every government that comes to office in their first 1 year has something to show for. In terms of the flagship programs and projects that they say they will do. This government has nothing to show. Zero.
Nothing?
Nothing. Tell me.
Inflation dropping?
Oh, you see, economic indicators go up and down. Then when we came to office in 2017, we dropped inflation from about 15. From 15 to about 7. So, have you ever heard us tout that? No. Because those are going concerns.
Exchange rates?
Those are going concerns. Those are going concerns. The fact of the matter is that you need to do something that affects the lives of the Ghanaian people everywhere. Are you not worried that you have an economy where on paper all the macroeconomic indicators look so flowery and yet the microeconomy is suffering? In economics, the whole essence of macroeconomic management is to see improvement in the microeconomy. It is the microeconomy that reflects in the pockets of the people. How is it that you have an economy where we are seeing an unprecedented drop of inflation from 23% to 3%,
yes,
and yet we are seeing an unprecedented rise of goods and high cost of living? Because the government is not driving the real sector of the economy. The government is having an artificial manipulation of the currency. So far, the only thing the government has done to drive all the indicators is to artificially manipulate the currency. And once you do that, you see the results. See, if you hold back money from people, it means that they don't have money to go and buy. If they don't get money to go and buy, what will happen? The people who sell have no choice than to drop their prices. It is when people are buying more that demand will go high. When demand go high, of course, then you have to do more to supply whatever you have to supply, and then it will drive the inflation because people are buying. But if people are not buying, what are you going to increase your prices for? You have to keep it at a certain reasonable rate so people can afford and buy. And that's what the government is doing. Go and check the government's own budget. Pick the government's own budget, and you would realize that in 2025, the government spent only 30% of their budget on capital expenditure. 30%.
Prudent spending.
Well, so
that's what they say.
So if you spend prudently, real sectors of the economy, prudently in this way, real sectors of the economy will suffer. That is why the agri sector is suffering. Go from the middle belt all the way to the north. The Techiman area, going to Tumu. Go and look at them. They are working on maize. Our agri sector is collapsing. Next season, a lot of the farmers are not likely to go into maize. Soya bean, cashew, and you see, it is a long-term sustainability of the Ghanaian economy that is in question now. And you know why? It's simply because this government decided to lift the ban and the restrictions on importation of grains. So you see, you have gone to buy galamsey gold, sold it, brought in dollars, flooded the forex market with the dollars. That's what you've done. That's all. You haven't improved on industrial manufacturing. You haven't increased production. You haven't done any of those things. Those are the things that must truly push your currency up. But you didn't do that. You decided to use the shortcut. Once you flood the forex, what happens? The people who have the money will go and buy the dollar. And instead of spending on the Ghanaian local production and buy the maize, they go and buy cheaper maize and bring it in the country. Meanwhile, your farmers are spending more to buy farm input to produce the maize, and then when they finish, the maize is left there. A bag of maize that used to be 1,200, as a result of this import flooding, has moved from 1,200 to 350 Ghana cedis, and yet they can't find buyers. And the government tells you that a broadband hasn't come there because the government has done anything in the economy. It is because government has opened the back door for foreign inflood of maize, and that is affecting your production locally. So those are serious things, because the question is that, God forbid, should you wake up one day and your currency has gone up, because everything you are doing with your currency is external, you don't control it. It's because gold prices are high and you are buying galamsey gold and you are selling it and breaking. So God forbid, if all these things that you don't control go haywire, where is the strength of your economy? And by that time, you would have collapsed your agri sector. So there will be nobody there producing even the maize. So it will no longer be 350. It will even go above the 1,200 or 1,300 that you moved it from. These are serious conversations that we must all agree and engage the government on. And the government must give us answers. This is not personal. This is not emotional. It's time for us to halt the government from playing with words and really explaining the issues to us and tell us the contradiction. You drop inflation from 22 to 3%. Then backdoor, you go and increase electricity by 28%. Increase water by 15%. You and I know that in this country, usually, PURC will tell you that, we have to do upward adjustments because of inflation, because of the exchange rate. How is it that for the first time in the history of this country, we are seeing inflationary drop in unprecedented manner, exchange rate improvement in unprecedented manner, and we are seeing a hike in electricity? Are you aware that between the NPP and the NDC, the one that has increased electricity